Hey guys, welcome to ChynnaxMai Raw, and this week we will be discussing, gotta fix these, we will be discussing pop culture as usual, just a few little things or whatever that done scroll past my timeline on my cell phone. So the first thing I really want to discuss, which I really haven't really in depth spoke about, hold on, let me, see if they in any way adjust the light. Either way. So what I really wanted to go ahead and talk about is Kodak Black, because somehow Kodak Black has come in and really stolen a lot of the spotlight from the death, of Nipsey Hussle, which I think is crazy in the first place. Like, the thing that I don't understand about the Kodak situation, so I never watched the video or anything, so I had to go back, watch the video to see what he actually said. And when I watched what he actually said, I felt like this. To me, Kodak Black is a kid. I'm 27 years old, so to me, he's a child. And I don't even know how old he is, but he acts like a child, talks like a child. He's a child. So he's a child to me. So to me, it just sounded like a conversation that 2, 3, 4 homeboys would have amongst each other. Like, I didn't feel that sense of uproar or rage towards him, because it's Kodak Black. It's a few people that I'm just not finna take life advice, dating advice, or just any intellectual advice from, and that's Kodak Black, that's Trick Daddy, and who else? Those two are at the top of my list. I'm not taking no advice from Kodak or Trick Daddy. So I don't understand why people get so upset. I remember Trick Daddy made a video, and in the video he was basically saying y'all black hoes better tighten up, because these Spanish women, they out here, you know what I'm saying, they getting asses. If they learn how to cook, y'all gonna be in trouble. And a lot of women got upset about that, and I was confused, because I'm like, when the fuck did y'all ever have fantasies of dating Trick Daddy? Like, when was Trick Daddy Dollars ever your role model or your spokesperson for injustice or anything? Trick Daddy is known for making ratchet ass sex, you know what I'm saying, sexual ass music. He's not your Farrakhan. He's not your Black Lives Matter. He's not you know what I'm saying? He's never been somebody who stood up for black women. And first of all, Trick Daddy looked like, what's that lady name? Trick Daddy looked like Florida from Good Times, okay? And let's just be real, and I don't even care. At the end of the day, Trick Daddy looked like Florida from Good Times. He looked like the mama on Good Times. His face appears to be melting. So now one of y'all wasn't finna lay down with him, no way. So this outrage of him saying something, about if he'll have a black woman or a white woman. Black women, we don't want him no way. So why you know what I mean? Why the outrage? Why so mad? And that's the same way I feel with Kodak. I feel like Kodak is ignorant, but he ignorant because the music is ignorant. The statements he make is ignorant. Look how, and I'm from Florida. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Orlando, which is, whatever. Florida is Florida. I'm from Florida. So I get it. I know niggas that look just like that. I have family members. I know people who look like that, who talk like that, who think like that. And I'm never going to them for politics, life lessons, or nothing like that. This is what I don't understand about society as a whole. And this goes for a lot of shit that's been going on lately in the media. I don't understand how you like something, you desire it, you crave it, you want it, and then when a person give you exactly what you want, then you act confused. You like Kodak Black because he ignorant. You like his music because it's raw and it's gritty and it's street and it's hood and it's different. But then when he act how he acts in his raps, you're just I don't understand. I don't get it. You act confused. It's just with Cardi B. Cardi B talks about being a stripper. Cardi B talks about gangs. She talks about, in some ways reps that she's in a gang. So the idea of her setting a nigga up as a stripper, to take his money, like, is like common. Like that's what happens in that industry. That's what happens in that like, you know what I mean, like in that area of work. So I don't understand if it's the white people that are upset, because, you know, I knew this day would come that white people would like put their baby toe in the pool of rap music, and they would just ruin it for everybody, because, you know, they enjoy the lifestyle in the music, but they don't want it to, like, you know, filter over into their actual lives. They don't want these criminals in the actual world with them, breathing, you know, amongst them, but they want to be able to hear about, you know, pimping and shooting guns and shit in music. So I was confused at first, because I was like, okay, maybe it's just white people that's acting like this when it comes to Kodak, but it's like, no, it's black people. So I'm confused, and maybe it's just I'm ignorant because I'm from Florida and I'm from the South, so I don't get it because I'm here. So I mean, somebody chime in and let me know, because I don't have no understanding. And then the other part about it is, I think that there has to be room for growth and room for understanding. Like, y'all want ready-made human beings, and it don't work like that. That's like wanting a baby to go from 1 day old to 35. There's a maturation period that has to happen. Like, you have to learn to crawl and then walk and talk. And it's the same way with people. Like, you can't take a nigga out the hood and why, thank you. Hold on, let me see. Are we good now? You can't take a nigga out of the hood. I read your comment. You can't take a nigga out the hood on Monday and then expect for him to be polished, primed, and like a whole nother person on Tuesday. You have to give him time. And in my opinion, you know, everybody came at him and was just very like aggressive. You know what I'm saying? And I get that everybody like loves Nipsey and everybody is like, you know, fighting for Nipsey and his legacy. But at the same time, it's just like, you as a person, you know, how do you feel when people attack you or when they come at you to correct you in an aggressive way? You don't feel good about it. You're going to be aggressive back. You're going to be defensive for somebody trying to check you. It's the same with anybody. So it should make sense that his response was the way that it was. To me, I feel like as OGs in the game, T.I. and all these other people should have contacted him on a personal level. And I never, this is not even my strategy of thinking, because I feel like where you act up is where you get smacked up. I feel like if you act up in the corner store, your parents have all jurisdiction to beat that ass in the store, right, you know, where you are. So I feel like, you know, I feel like that in most cases, but in this case, I just feel like when it comes to a young child, a young man, a young boy, or whatever the case may be, when it comes to discipline, sometimes it's just better to be cool about it and just be like, you know what? This is what you did. You wasn't cool. You know, I understand what you were trying to say, you know, and this is how it'd be better in the future. But trying to sun somebody is just like, that never blows over well, especially for ignorant people. Like, because the ignorant person will die about their respect. Like, they will die for an inanimate object, for respect of a person that they'll probably never get. Because if somebody don't respect you, I'm pretty sure that stabbing, shooting, cutting, or slicing them in some type of way is not going to garner or gain their respect. But if you're talking to an ignorant person, they think that these hands right here is the key and access to respect, and that's just not the case. So I just felt like when it came to it, number one, what he actually said was basically that he was going to give her a year, and, you know, he'll play the back and, you know, be that friend that she could lean on. You know, basically a wolf in sheep's clothing. But this is indicative of niggas. Like, this is what a lot of men do. A lot of men play the back. I've had homeboys of my boyfriend try to, like, you know, pull me to the side and be like, he ain't living right. Let me tell you what's really going on. Like, niggas backdoor each other all the time. But that's my thing. that's just my overall point on the matter, is that this is real life. I know that social media puts up a smoke screen and makes people feel like real life is not going on, but real life is happening, and I don't feel like we could cancel people or get upset when real life is happening. Niggas backdoor each other. This is a conversation between him amongst his friends. Now, should it have been recorded? I think in the future, he needs to learn, like, just not to record himself with his homeboys. That just needs to be a thing that doesn't happen, because if the conversations between me and my homegirl got recorded, like, people would hate me. People would cancel me off rip. So certain conversations should just be in private, and that's what that was to me. But it's like, and maybe because I'm older, maybe when I was younger, I didn't see things from a clear vantage point. But I feel like at the age of 27, you and I both know that Lauren London is not going to be single for the rest of her life. Like, that's just not how life works. And it's okay, because I know that people will be in uproar that I said that Lauren London will not be single for the rest of her life. Lauren London is fine as fuck, gorgeous. She has a career. She's talented. Like, please, like, within a year, she will probably move on and be with somebody else. Like, and that's the natural course of life, and that's how it should go. She's not, you know, tap dancing on death or nothing. She ain't knocking on death doors. She not in, her kidneys ain't, you know, failing. She doesn't have cancer. So within a year's time, she probably will have somebody else. So it's like, dude, should this, like I said, this isn't a conversation that I feel like is unnatural or wrong. It's a conversation that I feel like should have been kept private amongst friends, period. And my thing is, like, when it came to the Dr. Sebi conversation or whatever, at first, you know, I was like, you know, and I engaged in the conversation, but eventually I kind of let it die off, because it's like, when somebody dies, just let them have their last walk, you know, let them have their last bow on the stage. Like, don't upshadow, or is that, I don't think that's the time. Don't overshadow their moment with foolishness. Like, people took this Kodak Black thing so far to the point where it was like, well, damn, did he kill Nipsey too? Like, was he in the car? Like, did he touch the gun? Like, people made it such a big thing, and it was like, all of that could have really subsided until the funeral was over and all these things had already taken place, as opposed to creating this big spectacle, you know. And the other thing I was thinking, so my first thought was, if somebody raps about it and they live it, I don't see what the issue is. You shouldn't be surprised when a rapper acts how they rap in real life. Then number two, I was just thinking to myself, like, why can't we ignore it? Like, why can't we just ignore stuff? Like, this Kodak Black situation would not have been as huge as it was if people just scroll past it. But every time Kodak Black says something, people feel the need to stop and watch and repost and report it and comment on it. So it's like, in essence, you're creating the monster that you are complaining about by making it bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, this could have literally been a soundbite and moved on. But I think that people enjoy having a villain and having somebody to talk about. I think that people like to be in fake rage, because you could have literally just ignored it, like, and just went past it. And then I was watching a video where somebody was saying, you know, entertainers shouldn't be able to say what they want to say. You know, we pay them, they work for us. And to a certain extent, I agree with that. Like, I agree that, you know, I agree that there is no space in life where you're not working for somebody. You know, people, especially entrepreneurs, and especially in my experience, young Black entrepreneurs like to feel like they don't answer to anybody. They could be as rude as they want. They can say what they want. They can run their business the way they want, because they don't answer to nobody and they a boss and XYZ. But what I've learned in life is that there's no place that you can go where you don't work for somebody. If you're an entertainer, you work for the public. If you're a hairstylist, you work for your clients. If you're a man who runs a hot dog stand, the clients, if you put down roads you know, on the highway. You work for the state. You always work for somebody. So it's like this attitude of you don't work for anybody and you a boss. Yes, you may be a boss, but you still have a boss. You never will not have one. That's just life. Unless you decide to be homeless, you know, then by all means, I mean, you don't have a boss, so you don't work for anybody at that point. But, what's that? Okay. But in most cases, yes. But I do think that when you are an entrepreneur or an entertainer or somebody who works for themselves, you have wiggle room. Your boss is not you don't work for the standard boss. You don't have the standard, you know, boss over your shoulder while you're working, or, you know, you don't have to answer to the same power. So you do have more wiggle room. So I feel like, you know, we should not get, this is me talking. I feel like you shouldn't get mad at entertainers for saying whatever they want to say in the sense of like you exalted them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm just maybe not as sensitive as other people are, but I just feel like you throne these people, you make them king and queen, and then you get upset when they say things that don't fit your narrative. And everybody has 50 million different narratives. You know, the LGBTQIA have their narrative. You know, black people have their narrative. And it's just all these people that you have to cater to. So you want people to be real, but then you don't want them to be real. You only want them to be your kind of real. Yes?
Can I pick 3 things?
No. Nope. So you want them to be real, but you only want them to be your type of real and cater to your needs and what you want as an audience. And then it just gets all jumbled up and it just becomes a big hot mess. And so it's just like, you know, somebody asked which is a great segue into my next topic that I want to talk about. Somebody said, who appointed Kodak? Like, who put him on? And then they insinuated that the industry picked certain people to be famous or to be popular, and they push those people. And no, like, maybe in some instances, in some cases, that is true. But in this time that we live in now, most artists are able to upload their stuff to YouTube, upload their stuff to SoundCloud. They're able to be independent and push themselves. And then we, the people, decide if we fucking with it or not. We decide if we like it or not. Kodak didn't blow up because the industry was sitting on a park bench, you know, watching YouTube like, yeah, he's going to be the next, you know, he's going to be the next plug that we're going to use to control the masses. Like, no, like niggas in Florida was fucking with him because he represents Florida culture. So niggas in Florida liked it. And then niggas that weren't in Florida liked it because it was something different. You know, you have to think, like, when you put a Kodak up against Amigos or up against a lot of artists that are out now, it's different. You know, it's the Southern twang. It's the, you know, he has his own flow, his own, you know, persona or whatever, what have you. So, but it's different. And that's what I think people were attracted to. So it took off like wildfire because it was something different and people liked it. And the people appointed him. And it's just like, you know, when I think about the theories as far as like Dr. Sebi and these different things, this is my thing when it comes to Dr. Sebi and Nipsey and all of that. I don't negate that Dr. Sebi is an amazing healer. I don't negate his practices. I don't negate his teachings. I don't negate any of that. I only question, are we getting caught up in the hype of conspiracy theories when much of Dr. Sebi's information and work is public information that you can look up yourself? That's my thing. My thing as a black woman who, I ain't living in a lap of luxury. Like, I ain't rich. I'm not coined up. You know what I'm saying? But I've never felt held back or restraint in my life because I just feel like nobody can stop me but me. Nobody gonna stop me from getting the knowledge. And my thing with a lot of people is that it's not anybody else that's holding you back. It's you. It's your lack of knowledge. It's your lack of, sometimes it's the lack of knowing the resources that you have. Like, the public library is in pretty much every city. And I'm saying pretty much because I didn't Google that to know if it's in every single city. But the public library is pretty much in every city. You have public transportation. So you have a means to get to a library, and you have a library that's chock full of information. It's not just a color only section and a whites only section. They got black books in there, they got white books. And if at any point you need more information or you want to learn more, then you can do that on your own. So if you seek knowledge, you'll get the answers that you want. My thing is, I feel like, and I'm going to wrap this up real quick because it's taking a different turn for me, but I do want to say this. You know, I feel like a lot of times we cannot grow as a people. And me personally, I love us as a people. I love being black. I love black people. I love black shit. I love the hood. I love baby hairs. I love long acrylic nails. I love bright colored hair. I love all the things that people say they hate. I love it. It's a-okay with me. You want to sit up under the tree and drink a 6-pack of beer for the rest of your life, that's on you, because nobody can define somebody else's happiness. So I'm okay with black people, whether we evolve, don't evolve, whatever the case may be, because it's groups of people in every race that are not evolved. Or, you know, in a white race, there's rednecks, there's, you know what I mean? So it's trailer trash, it's all those things that they say. So I say that to say, when we talk about evolvement, I feel like a lot of the evolution is not taking accountability and not, you know, owning up to the idea that maybe we're not putting enough into resources. Like, we're not putting enough into the resources that we already have. We're not putting enough energy into accessing, you know, the base level knowledge that is free to us. Like I said, the library, you can go there and get a base level. You can get a start. You know what I'm saying? As far as whatever you want to know, and then grow from there. But you can't blame the next person if you don't go to the library. You can't blame the next person if you don't put any energy into education, any energy into, you know, bettering, into a trade or anything. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we have to address things on that level first, like accessing the very resources that we have. That's just me though. And I could be ignorant and I could know nothing and fuck that girl, she need to be quiet and whatever. But girl, your future bright. But that to me is the first stepping stone. Like, yeah, Dr. Sebi, you know, and Dr. Sebi is a great stepping stone, but you can look him up yourself. You don't have to have a Nipsey Hussle to feed you information. You don't have to have anybody to feed you information. You can literally, like, the Google is free and it's for everybody and it's everywhere. Nobody can stop you from Googling. There is no whites only law on Googling. You can Google anything. The world is full of free access to any information. Me personally, I don't take nobody word for shit. I don't care who it is. Like, honestly, I might even double check Jesus. Like, let me stop playing. But no, for real. Like, you need to double check anybody, because I feel like just like everybody has an agenda. You know, when I went to college, one thing that I learned about college that was interesting to me was that everywhere I went, I feel like somebody wanted my mind. You know what I mean? Like, there was fraternities. They wanted access to. Everybody wants to pull you in all these different directions. And that's life. You have all these people. You have Israelites. You have this religion, this group, that group. Everybody's tugging on you. And in order for you to make the best decision, you have to be informed. You have to do the work and the research. Just like with my kids, like, I don't even want my kids to take my word for shit. Like, I want them to go and double check, because I want them to be able to formulate their own opinion. And I feel like if you cannot formulate your own opinion, then that would be a sheep. You would then be a sheep. But the idea of me being black and other black people telling me that because I don't subscribe to what they subscribe to, because my logic tells me something different than theirs does, and I'm not blindly listening to them or blindly reading whatever passages they want to give me, then I'm a sheep. Like, she ain't trying to hear that. And then lastly, how y'all feel about Chris Darden taking the case? Like, how do y'all feel about him representing Eric, the Nipsey killer? Because I don't even know his last name and really don't care to know it. How do y'all feel about that? Because for me, the clout chase just never stops. Like, you can be on your deathbed, like knocking at Jesus' back door, and you still trying to get a little clout. Like, that's all I got from it. And then, you know, the crazy thing to me is when people kept saying, like, how he got money for Eric Darden, it's the government doing this. Like, you do know that people work pro bono. Like, certain lawyers will take certain cases pro bono, meaning for free, just for the publicity or just to help the person. Because in some cases, people do pro bono just because, you know, they want to help. But in this case, I just think it's an opportunity to get back in the media, to, you know, cause up a stir, or, you know, stir up some I don't even know what he thought he was finna stir up. He already, you know, was really one of the most hated black people, or people in period, when he went against OJ. So I don't know, you know, somebody said, I think somebody quoted Floyd Mayweather saying people love a villain. So maybe that's what he was going for. I think it's amazing that the killer is, you know, allegedly a known snitch, a known informant, and then he goes and kills somebody. And it's like, okay, so you snitch to get out of jail or to stay out of prison, and then you kill somebody. So it's like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, you're like hustling backwards, because now you're going right on to the big house and you killed Nipsey. So there's no way that you're gonna make it out alive. I mean, unless they literally assign you like a buddy guard, like a buddy police guard that's gonna, you know, go to the bathroom, brush your teeth for you, and hold your wiener while you pee. It's the only way I see him making out in this situation. Oh, and lastly, before we call this a, Kim Kardashian is in school to be an attorney. Who would, well, I would say who would have thought, but I mean, that is the family trade before sucking wiener. So it does, you know, I never took her for the, you know, well, I would say I never took Kim Kardashian for the intellectual, but when you really think about it, she out here hustling these coins and she's very business minded. So, I mean, I guess that could parlay into law. That is interesting to me, but it seems like she's really taken a liking to like injustices and, you know, helping people, you know, to escape the injustice in the system. So I think it's cool. If she's helping people, then I think it's dope. You know, anything else, because I would be curious to see how her court cases would go, and would her celebrity overshadow and overpower like her cases? Because right now, she could possibly be the only Kardashian that I'm here for, because Khloe is really dragging this Tristan thing. And I have like a friend on here, I guess, that is mixed, and so she was trying to give me perspective on white people and their relationships. But I just feel like this: when some white women or anybody, some people date people that they just like. It doesn't matter the color, it doesn't matter. And some people are only attracted to a particular race of people. My thing is, when you're attracted to a particular race of people, you gonna have to accept whatever come with that race. Like, a lot of people say in the Asian culture, the male is dominant. So when you get you an Asian man, I don't want to hear you complain about how controlling he is. When you get with a black dude, I don't want to hear you complain about him cheating. He cheating on all us, sis. They cheat on us. That's what we've been telling you. And I'm not saying all black men cheat. Lord, please don't even. But for the majority of forever, black women have been talking about how black men are dogs. So I don't know if all the Caucasian women had stepped out during the meeting when all us black women was like, oh my God, Raekwon is a dog. He cheating on me. He doing these things to me. Like, I don't know if white women like had to run to Starbucks when we was having that conversation, or what precisely was going on. But we've been telling y'all for years that black men cheat. So when you get cheated on by black men, I don't too much want to hear you be whining about that. Like, I don't too much care. Like, that's a common thing. Like, not just besides the fact that women are just getting cheated on anyway, like, if you are a Kardashian, you like black men, and you have black friends, and you hang around black people. So I'm sure that at one of, you know, your runs to Popeyes or something, you encountered a black woman who told you that. So, you know, if you ignore all the warning signs about a dude that you met who had a girl pregnant, then I don't know what to say, sis. Like you skirted past all the warning signs, and then you want the sympathy, and I don't get it. I don't understand. I'm not familiar. Like a lot of women have this concept. A lot of women who don't have kids or are having sex with somebody else's baby father have this idea of like, you know, baby moms are bitter, and once, you know, he don't want you. But it doesn't really work like that. You know what I mean? Like when a woman is pregnant, this is my thing. We don't know what happened within that situation. We wasn't there, but I can infer. I can just almost guess that there was some loose ties there somewhere, you know, in normal situations. Because people normally tend to try to finish the relationship out, you know, at least through the pregnancy. They be trying to hold on. So to me, I just wouldn't want to get with a guy who has a pregnant girlfriend, a ex-pregnant girlfriend, or anything like that. Because at the least, right, if his ex-girlfriend is pregnant, at the least he was fucking her recently. Like the love might not be there. He might have stopped loving her, you know, a year ago, but his dick was still in her a few months ago. At the least, you know, within this 9-month period, they was fucking. So for me, that's enough. Yes?
The shoe that I was watching turned off.
No, that's not an emergency. These kids be trying it. Anyways, so yeah, at least within the time span of 9 months, they was fucking. So that's fresh, that's new. And then on top of that, if this is their first, even if it's not their first child, there has to be agreements and understandings that are going to come up about how they're going to raise this child, what life is going to be like. They have to maneuver co-parenting and custody, and that's just a lot for any new relationship. So I don't understand why you would want to put the stress of a baby from a guy that you just met this person. Like you can easily like pull the plug, cut ties, and move on about your day. I just personally, unless Jesus H. Christ came down from his earthly, you know, from his heavenly castle and was like, hey, Chynna, I got this dude for you, you know, that got a baby, you know, 2 or 3 of them. And that's the only way that I would consider that. That's the only way that would make sense for me. Because I don't go around looking for headaches. And a dude with a pregnant ex-girlfriend by him, it just sounds like a headache and it sounds messy. So I don't too much got no sympathy for that. But anyways, guys, it's been super fun. And I'll be back next week with some more random raw shit that, you know, just crept across my mind throughout the week. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. And, you know what I'm saying, like comment or whatever and like it and like share it and stuff like that. Bye, y'all.